Good morning. Day 100. Wow. 100 days. That's a milestone. Good night last night. I mean, I pulled up a little bit short just with the side trips to Burney Mountain Ranch and then that kind of boondoggle out to the Stanby Bridge. And I was ready to stop. I found a good, it was kind of a closed campground just before Burney Falls State Park. So rather than instead of staying in the state park where I figured there'd be a lot of noise and car campers and that, stayed here. There were 2 other PCT hikers and just me, so nice and quiet. And they had a water faucet and outhouse and picnic tables, and so it was a good night. And as soon as the sun went down, it cooled down. So it got down like 58, I think, 56, 58. 58. So it was a nice, cool night. But it's going to be hot again. It was over 100 in Burney yesterday, and it's supposed to be 100 today. So I was trying to get on the trail early today, but just as I was leaving, I wanted to check my texts because I'm trying to arrange for a ride for the fires. And Sandra texted me, and we had no water at the house. So I spent the last 20 minutes of that on the phone. Still know exactly what's going on. It looks like maybe our well pump is not going. So I gave her a few things to check out, and nothing really panned out. She's going to try her neighbor, Jim, and then have to call the well people, see what's going on there. But we just had our well pump replaced like in December. Brand new pump, brand new controller, so that's not good. So anyway, it's probably, I gotta look, 20 to 7-ish, quarter to 7. So getting a little bit late starting the trail. But I'm going to hit the trail, go check out Burney Falls, and then try and make it down the trail. I'd really like to do 25 today, but there's a big hill, about 3,000 feet, about 8 miles down. So a lot of that's going to be in the afternoon when it's heating up. So I'm going to try and hustle down there and at least get a start on it before it really starts heating it up, and see how far we get. Might come up a little bit short of the 20. But we'll see. I'm like 83 miles from the highway to Mount Shasta. I'll get there by Friday morning. So this is Tuesday morning. So we'll do as many miles as we can, and we'll see on down the trail. Burney State Park, Burney Falls, and the normal loop was closed. So you gotta go this way. And I guess you can only view the trail or view the falls from the top. Normally there's one that you can go underneath the falls. But in 2024, I guess they're doing the trail maintenance and rebuilding that trail. So we'll view it from the top. Won't be able to go, behind the falls. It's a creek. Not sure if this is upstream or downstream of the falls. We'll find out when we get there. Looks like this route's closed too. I think that's where you go behind the falls. This is going to be up by the visitor center and campground. And it'll view the falls from the top. All right, going uphill. We'll see up there. We're feeling might be like on top of the falls. There's some of the trail work going on there, rebuilding the trail. So we can't go down there. So here's Burney Falls from the top. The trail down to the pool and down to the falls is closed. They're rebuilding it for this year. So we'll just enjoy it from the top here. Nice big falls. Now here's a much better picture. Pretty impressive. Gorgeous waterfalls. About 130 feet tall. I was mistaken. I thought this was a waterfall that you could go, the trail would take you behind it, but that must be another one up the trail in Oregon. This one you can take the trail down to the pool, but that trail's closed. So you can only view it from the top. But it's still pretty impressive from the top. I don't think you're missing a whole lot going down by the pool. Real picturesque, real beautiful waterfall here. Okay, well, we'll see you down the trail. We'll see how many miles I can do. Here's a view of Lake Britton Dam. Looks like the lake's pretty high. It's almost at the overflow stage. So they're releasing a lot of water down there. Keep it from overflowing. Good looking dam. Okay, so looks like the PCT crosses the dam. So you got the Lake Britton on this side. And I'm not sure the name of the river, but beautiful little river on that side. PCT picks it up somewhere on the other side. This is a weird sign. This is right on the PCT, on the trail. And I left my horn at home. Horn's not lightweight, so I'm not sure what they want us to do. Hike along the trail here. But I'm hornless. Okay, just finished this first small climb, about 800 or 900 feet. See, it's the river below the dam. It's beautiful. Pine-covered ridgeline. A lot of shade up there, so that helps. But it's getting hot. I'm sweating my butt off already. It's like not even 8 o'clock. And I still got a 3,000 foot climb this afternoon. So it's going to be toasty. But that's life on the trail. The weirdest trees. Look at these things hanging off. I saw these on the ground. I thought they were like horse tails. Something like that. They just look like the horse hair. But I don't know if that's growing on the tree or if that's kind of like one of those parasitic things but it's all over the tree. Very interesting. End of day 100. Wow. 100 days. It's a lot. Another hot day today. Especially in the beginning. But there was a lot of climbing. It's pretty steady. I only did 22 miles. I was hoping to do more like 25. But I was just spent. You know, it was really hot, but it was a little bit overcast. And there was a lot of shade, especially the first probably 80%. In the afternoon, it was getting a little bit of exposure, but it was mixed. But probably all the way up to maybe like 3 o'clock. A lot of shade. So that helped immensely, especially because there was a lot of climbing early on. I think I did 22 miles and about 4,500 feet of elevation gain. The terrain was good. It was nice, gentle, but it was just uphill, most of the day. And the first half of the trail was good. The last 10 miles, there was a lot of overgrowth and blowdowns. So it made it a little bit hard, especially end of the day when you're tired, dealing with blowdowns. And I mean, some of the overgrowth, you couldn't even see the trail. You're just plowing through it and kind of feeling it with your feet, hoping there's not a rock or a blowdown to trip you up. So the last part of the day was a little bit tough. That's why I kind of called it early. There's a nice, decent camp spot right by a spring. I needed water anyway, so once I got water, it's like, okay, I'm done for the day. So I think we're about 60 miles from the highway. I think it's I-5 to get you into Shasta or Mount Shasta. So I need to do some big miles the next 2 days. I gotta try and pull out 25s at least, maybe a little bit more. Luckily, we're at a little bit, with all that climbing, I'm probably between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. So it's a little bit cooler now. Back when we were like at 2,200 feet, it was just sweltering hot. Even at this time, it was hard to get in the tent. So it's comfortable now. Hopefully, tomorrow I'll have a few more clouds and some shade, and being at a decent elevation. Hopefully, we can put out some more miles. Saw Burney Falls. That was really good. Beautiful falls. I mean, just very picturesque. Couldn't go down the bottom, but viewing it from the top was good. And I don't want to waste more time. Not that it's a waste of time, but I need to get some miles in between the side trip to Burney Falls. I was on the phone a little bit with Sandra because you know, we didn't have any water at home. So either the well pump or the booster pump or something's going on. So I tried to walk her through a number of things with the breakers and overloads and that, but none of the obvious stuff worked. So she's gonna have a neighbor come over and or call the pumps people. But I'm out of cell phone range now, so not sure how all that turned out. Hopefully our neighbor knows how to, you know, get there's a float switch at half the tank, so he can get that going and at least get her some water today. And not sure if what's going off the pump or whatever. So I might not be in cell phone range for a couple of days. So hopefully she can figure that out. I guess that's about it. We'll check back in tomorrow. Good morning. Day 101 here. 6:10. Had to hike back up from the spring that I camped near, but back up to the trail. I thought I was going to be solo last night, but then another guy came in and collapsed from the heat right next to me. And then after I was in my tent, three others came in. So there were 5 of us down there, but everyone was real quiet. So got real good sleep. Back up the trail. I don't think there's going to be any detours or big sights to see today, so I'm hoping I can just put my head down and crank out some miles, make up for the last 2 days. I mean, I did, you know, whatever, 20, 22 miles the last couple of days, but I need to do a couple of 25 plus here if I want to get into Mount Shasta early, so I can do all my town chores and get my package, get my new tent and that. So I think that's it. We'll see you down the trail, and today's just going to be about getting miles. Hopefully it stays cool. It's already over 70 at 6:10, so I think it's going to be another warm one. Hopefully we get some shade and maybe a few clouds just to keep the sun just from beating on you. Other than that, we'll see you down the trail. A lot of overgrowth, so this is the first time it really opened up. You can actually take a panorama. Beautiful forest lands when you can see them. And right back there is Mount Shasta. Got a little cloud cover right on the top. So, be headed towards Mount Shasta for the next couple days. Yeah, it's the 3rd snake I've seen in 2 days. That guy I think is just a garter snake or something similar. Same as last one. Not a rattlesnake, luckily. Another view of Mount Shasta. A little bit different angle. The clouds like hanging around the top there. Look at that. Beautiful mountain. Okay, about 11:15, taking a little break. It's warming up, but not too bad. There's enough shade around. There's some small stretches that you're really exposed, but shade helps. As you might have noticed, last couple of days I've been hiking solo, so I split off from Gandalf and Dr. Tom. There are a couple reasons for that. One, kind of the, you know, a little bit that's been building up for a couple weeks. So I think there was a good chance that we were gonna go our separate ways for a couple weeks now. And then when my tent zipper went, you know, I wanted to get into Shasta and get my tent by Friday, and they were going into Burney to drop off some money for some girl, doing a little side trip, and I thought I'd be cutting it too close to try and do both. So that was kind of a good forcing function. But I think it's pretty natural with, and I don't really like the term trail families, but, be that as may, it's, that's what it is. And trail families evolve and change and grow and shrink. I think that's very common on the trail. Me and Gandalf kind of teamed up and started hiking together way back in Wrightwood. That was like, I don't know, day 31, I think. So, over 2.5 months ago. And then Dr. Tom and Blackout joined us about a week later, maybe a week and a half later. And then Blue Collar joined us for a short stint before he peeled off. So, things ebb and flow. But yeah, after like, over 2.5 months of, hiking together, it just, the dynamics change a little bit. So just want to be, very clear that, both Gandalf and Dr. Tom are just, outstanding guys. They are great hiking partners. They got your back. They'll help you out any way you can. Just real fun to be around. And we got along great for 2.5 months. So I just want to be crystal clear that, that they're great guys, and I think there's a good chance we'll probably get back together and probably spend more time either on the trail or in town. But after it was real good through the desert, and especially in the Sierras. In the Sierras, you kind of need to hike with people just for safety, between the snow, all the snow crossings, and river crossings. It's pretty smart to not be out there alone. So that worked out real well. So like, throughout the desert and the Sierras, our hiking styles really meshed well, and our hiking speed and number of miles per day jived really well, especially the risk tolerance and what we wanted to achieve on any given day really meshed well. So it was just great hiking together. After coming out of Sierras, things kind of diverged a little bit. So, Gandalf and Dr. Tom wanted to push the miles a little bit. I kind of wanted just to let things happen naturally. As you get into Northern California, you drop down in elevation a little bit, and the terrain gets a little bit easier, so miles just naturally go up. I was fine with that and letting that evolve naturally. Again, Dr. Tom wanted to, kind of push the miles a bit. So that's where, our objectives kind of started to diverge a little bit. So, and after a couple of weeks of that, of, them, constantly wanting to push more, and I kind of just wanted to let things happen naturally. It just, it made things more challenging. We did agree to just kind of hike our own hikes, because, breaks weren't lining up and lunch wasn't lining up. And, I think I was probably unfairly getting frustrated a little bit, hiking with them, just because our styles were diverging a little bit. And so I was frustrated when, I was ready for a break, but, again, I want to push for another, mile and a half. It's like, well, I want a break now. So, we agreed just to hike our own hike, and, we'd meet up at the end of the day, sometimes for lunch, but definitely by the end of the day, and camp together. Did that for a week or two, and that seemed to work out pretty well. But it kind of reached a point where it just made sense just to split apart. And, got mixed feelings on that. I'm really enjoying hiking on my own, and, I can make, whatever decisions I want, and go, as fast or as slow, take a break, as often or as little as I want, for as long as I want, and wherever I want. So, all that's just really freeing, and I've kind of missed that a little bit over the last 2.5 months. But by the flip side, you're all by yourself, so you don't get that camaraderie, and you don't have anyone to. There's people to talk to all up and down the trail, but having a friend there, to camp with and to eat with, and that you miss that piece. So it's a mixed bag. There's pros and cons. But for the time being, I think I'm gonna enjoy hiking solo. If I start to get lonely, there's a bunch of other people hiking solo, or other groups and that. So, you can team up with someone else down the trail, or who knows, I might team up back with Gandalf and Dr. Tom if our paths cross again. So we'll see how things go. But for now, I'm going to be hiking solo for a bit and just kind of enjoying the solitude and getting lost in my own thoughts and just doing things on my own. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there, explain a little bit about the pros and cons. And once again, it was you couldn't ask for better hiking partners than Gandalf and Dr. Tom, and even Blackout. I really miss Blackout. He was the social butterfly of the group. He would talk to anyone and everyone on the trail. He knew everyone up and down the trail, by their name and what their story was, and he got all the gossip on the trail. So really miss Blackout, but he's probably a week ahead of us. So I don't think I'm probably going to be able to catch up to him. But anyway, just thought I'd share that, and we'll see you down the trail. All right, so most blowdowns are easy, but look at this thing. Somehow, the trunk's like chest high for me. So I got to weave myself, climb through and over with a backpack on, or there's a trail down here, which looks a little sketchy. Who knows how far down it goes. And then I got to climb back up to the trail way up here. So go around or go over? That's the conundrum. I think I'm going to try to go around because it's just a mess trying to go through all this. We'll see what happens. All right, well, I went way down there. It was bushwhacking and more blowdowns. Still know which is worse, but probably took me 5 or 10 minutes. Just worked my way through that one blowdown. Okay, so I forgot to do a closeout for day 101. So after the fact, this is a story of blowdowns and overgrowth. I mean, the trail yesterday should have been real easy. I mean, the terrain was no big climbs, a lot downhill, but the overgrowth in sections was about the worst I've seen it. And a lot of blowdowns. I mean, they probably haven't cleared blowdowns out of here for probably 25, 30 years. I mean, some of the blowdowns were just actually really starting to decay on the trail, and just from people stepping on them for decades. The tree kind of broke in half right on the trail. And this is probably like a 30-inch stump or 30-inch trunk, and some were just, they take you five minutes to navigate around, and they're just prevalent all up and down the trail. So hopefully the train will be a little bit better today, make a little bit better time. It's just hard to get in a rhythm, when you're having to stop every 5 or 10 minutes and navigate a blowdown, or when you're going through the brush. Sometimes it's just annoying. Other times it gets so thick you can't even see the trail. So you're just kind of like pushing through the brush and feeling with your feet where the trail is, and hoping you don't trip on a rock or a blowdown or a tree root or something. It slows you down. It saps a lot of energy out of you. Yep, there's another little blowdown. Other than that, saw a ton of animals. Deer all over the place. Like literally right on the trail. So we've seen some deer, not that many. They were all like onesies, one deer at a time. But they're prevalent. They weren't afraid of humans. They just walk right along. Saw a couple snakes, one rattlesnake by a creek. Luckily there's a group down there who warned me about it, because he was all coiled up right on the edge. So I stuck to the other edge. He still kind of lunged out and snapped at me. But I was probably about, 3 or 4 feet away, and he only reached maybe a foot. But he was annoyed at everyone getting water at the creek. So I guess that's about it. Did 23.5 miles yesterday. It's not as much as I wanted, but with the blowdowns and the overgrowth. That's about all I can manage. So, all right, we'll see you tomorrow.